Is July 5th, 2023, on another Wednesday. Beautiful Wednesday. Pardon me, my voice is fading. I gotta drink more tea, man, because this joint is just getting a little raspy. It's getting crazy. So, pardon that. Other than that, I'm good. Hope you guys had a good 4th of July. If you happen to listen to this, you know, what was I gonna say? Um, yeah. Hope you had a good 4th. I'm chilling. Um, Interesting last weekend. This weekend. This week so far has been pretty good over here in the Bronx. We had some rain. We had a lot of fireworks go off. Can't complain really. Uh, Weather's been hot, but where is it not hot? You know what I mean? Over here in the States. Other than that, been good. Family been good. People going to chill and hang out and all that cool stuff. Uh, but yeah, last weekend, as far as combat sports go, good weekend. A lot of good fights took place. Um, you know, Savannah Marshall became the new super middleweight champion. Beating Fashawn Cruz Dezern in a pretty good fight, man. There's some hostilities. Some people were upset about the fight. It didn't look professional. It didn't look clean. It was messy. It was sloppy. It was what it was. It is what it is. But Savannah Marshall managed to do what she needed to do. She did enough of what she needed to do. She got the win. Big props to her. Um, it was a much needed win. We'll see where she goes. She's looking to try to line up another opportunity. She's trying to get, she's trying to line up another opportunity to fight Clarissa Shields. See if they can get that fight going. This time, Clarissa will probably move up weight now to fight Savannah for the super middleweight title, the undisputed super middleweight title. Yeah, man. Natasha Jonas had a good win too on that same card. She was the co-main. She got an 8th round stoppage against Candy Wyatt. The girl did pretty good, man. Natasha did good. Her opponent, on the other hand, I don't fucking know. Um, Women's boxing, similar to like women's MMA, is this situation where there's gonna be a point, or yeah, there's a point where it's just you have these fighters, and there's just a couple fighters that are ahead. You know what I mean? In men's combat sports, you always see that. You see a couple guys that are ahead of the crew, and then you have the guys who are really ahead of the crew. In women's boxing, you have the people who are ahead, and then it's just the rest of those people. That's it. There's no real middle spot for women's boxing or somewhat, women's MMA. There is a middle spot depending on the divisions, but in women's boxing, is either you're ahead or you're behind. And that's the situation with Candy Wyatt. Wyatt came here boxing, but she was just walking forward and getting clobbered with all types of overhands and jabs and pieced up. Ref had enough of seeing the damage and just stopped the fight. Callum Simpson had a good 10-round win, a unanimous decision over Boris Creighton. Mark Jeffers beat Zach Chelly, um, a decision. Ben Whitaker beat Vladimir Beljuski. Um, Stopped him in the 8th round. That man literally pretty much just pieced him up and Vladimir couldn't even. Vladimir didn't even try to strike back. He just kept getting hit. He kept getting walloped, and it was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Yeah, no answer. The ref came in. The ref saved him pretty much. April Hunter beat Christy Bavington, got her of revenge. So it was now 1-1 apiece. And Will Howe beat Jake Darnell among points. That was a good card though. But Cruz made it entertaining. She sang the national anthem in her entrance. She sang her own national anthem in front of the London crowd, which is bonkers. But she tried to, she put up a good fight. I guess she got so hyped up in it though. Her style is entertaining, but it's not as clean cut as it should be. I say DAZN has the ability to box and be more like a Alicia Bumgarner. Like Bumgarner has the style where she plants and she throws. And DAZN has a frame where she could really throw some heavy shots in it, but she gets a bit sloppy. Um, if she was to just learn to plant better, get some training to better her foot placement and get boogieing pretty much, get good footwork, and just be able to land heavy shots, a lot better heavy shots. She could be a menace, but we'll see what happens, man. Moving forward with her, but Savannah Marshall, good job on her part, man. She got that much needed win. Um, Sidebar: Cage Warriors. Shout out to my man Darren Stewart. He got a win by decision. Been a minute, but he picked up a good win there, man. I was happy to see that. So we had UFC Fight Night. Boy, oh boy, my picks were crazy, but I was happy. I was happy. Um, who the hell calling me? I gotta check that later. Okay, I'll check it. But yo, so we opened up the card. We had the 12 fights. Pretty good card. Turned out to be better than expected. Kind of had a feeling it would be that way, but a lot of my picks hit, man. But we had Alexander Romanov fight Blagoy Ivanov, heavyweight fight. Unanimous decision. Alexander Romanov was just a bigger guy. He used the range better. He kept landing that overhand. He had a nasty overhand. He kept landing on Blagoy. Just repetitive. Good jab, good punches. I think he got a takedown. Just did real good work on Blagoy. Blagoy's up in age, and Blagoy's a tough son of a bitch. He won't go down really, but it's just that he is he's up in age. That's all. But he's a tough SOB, and he managed to take all those shots. Big props to him. We had Ivana Petrovic who fought Luana Carolina. Carolina took the unanimous decision win against Ivana. I picked that. That was my pick. It was on Twitter. I said it. I had a feeling about Luana, man. Luana did just enough of what she did, and I'm glad I watched some tape on Ivana because Ivana looked good, but Ivana did not like those clinches. Ivana was trying to go for the takedown. Carolina did good in defending it. Carolina did good in throwing the short shots. Beat up Ivana, man. Took away the clinch from Ivana. Just really fought for the win. So good job on her part. Ivana, she'll shake it off and come back, look better in her next fight. This is a debut, man, but good job on Luana's part. We had the barn burner of the third fight between Guram Kutataladze and Elvis Brenner. Oh my God. If there's a fight that you have to go back and look at, it's this fight right here. These dudes banged on each other for 3 whole rounds. For throughout as long as the fight lasted. It got to the point Guram was striking, Elvis wouldn't go away. Guram busted this dude open, literally cut him busted him so open, like you literally got to the bone. This man had blood through the hair, kept it going, did not stop.
Yeah, I got it done. Jesus.
Yes, you needed other people to do something that you could have done simple by yourself. Shorty's a goofball. I got three. I got three of those. I got three. And Shorty can't even do us one herself. My sister, yo, she's a lame. But yo, Guram was fighting. He fought real good. It was like Guram took the lead. Brenner came back. Guram took it back. Elvis brought it back. By the time we finally got to the third round, man, I keep telling people, man, shooter box. These dudes really carry that shooter box mentality. Is either kill or be killed. And Elvis Brenner, man, he was an underdog last fight. Came out with the win. Stops Guram Kulaladze in the third round by TKO. Guram just couldn't handle the pressure no more, man. He got Elvis made Guram fold. And that's a tough thing to do. Elvis Brenner, two underdog back-to-back victories. Crazy, man. We had Carol Rosa versus Yana Santos. This was a all right fight. Nothing really special. A lot of clinch fighting. A lot of clinch fighting. And it's not the exciting style of clinch fighting. Just really, But there was a couple good shots thrown in the mix. But Carol Rosa gets the split decision win over Yana. Sucks Yana's been on this. Yana hasn't had the best list of wins. You know, Yana 33, man. And, you know, last time she won, she beat Ketlin Vieira. And since then, she got stopped by Irene, beat by Holm by decision, and now Carol Rosa. I don't know, man. And it was at 145 too, so you know, Carol though, that's another weird thing because Carol's last fight was at 145 against Norma Dumont. Dumont beat her, and then she comes in here fighting fighting Yana, and struggles against Yana. This fight was nah. It was nah. I'm dragging this fight longer than I should be talking about it. Joe Anderson Brito caught a body. Possible attempted murder. As Joe Anderson Brito wins this fight at 145 against the debut of Weston Wilson. Weston came in on short notice. Weston came in against a dog. Weston had a good kickboxing background from what I heard. Joe Anderson Brito was supposed to fight Ashkabov. Ashkabov, I guess, was lucky that he got injured because poor Weston got annihilated. Weston got pummeled on the feet at the start. He got to the ground. Weston then tried to get a leg lock in. And you know what happens if you don't get a leg lock in time. You may get caught in a bad position. Weston had a hold, but had no protection on his head. And Joe Anderson Brito knocked this man into the shadow realm repeatedly. Beat this man until this man did not move anymore. Joe Anderson Brito with the first round knockout. Don't go check that back up. We had Kevin Lee come back with his return against Venat Fakhretdinov out of Russia. In 170. Highlights of this fight was a 1-2 and a modified guillotine choke. Kevin Lee was unconscious on the floor. All this happened in a minute, but now Fakhretdinov wins. Man, you could have gave Kevin Lee an easier fight, but it's the UFC, and there ain't no real such thing as easy fights nowadays. You know, Kevin came in with as much confidence as he could, but damn, you gave him a guy like that. I'm not sure if that was the way to go, but it is what it is, man. Um, so we had. I'm glad I picked I picked Fakhretdinov there. I had Brito and Fakhretdinov, and I'm glad I went with my next pick too. We had Nursultan Ruziboyev versus Bruno Ferreira, and Bruno was supposed to fight Abdul Razak Al Hassan, but Al Hassan withdrew, and this dude from Ruziboyev came in. And good thing you do research, man. Uzaboyev comes from Renzo Gracie, Philly, where I mentioned on last week's episode that, you have Pat Sabatini, um, Jeremiah Wells, Sean Brady, a lot of those good fighters up in there. And this is going to be a creepy fight. Bruno's a big power puncher, but you're going to get a guy who got some finesse in his step. And just like that, man, this dude, they were striking. Bruno threw a kick. Uzaboyev caught the kick, caught him with a counter right hand, and then just lit him up. Finished in the first round, man. Big underdog win right there. Let's go. That's a big underdog win. Well, the biggest underdog win was definitely the Brenner one, but this was the second one. Also, there was another underdog. I had this dude too because I took Bonfim, but I was like, nah, wait. You can check it out on Tapology, Tapology/Mr. B. I have my picks up there. Benoit Saint Denis fought Ismail Bonfim at 155. Now, Bonfim was coming in at short notice to fight Saint Denis. Saint Denis was lined up here to fight Vince Pichel. Pichel's a whole monster in himself, where he just keeps. Vince Pichel's like 155. He's the 155 version of Sean Strickland, I could say. Where this dude is forward pressure. He's going to look to get you on volume. He's going to look to out cardio you. He's just that type of guy. But Saint Denis got pretty good cardio too. But Saint Denis was working his kickboxing here. Holy shit, the amount of body kicks that Bonfim had to eat at the start of this fight was crazy. He got so bad, Bonfim had to drop the elbow down. He had to drop his right hand down because he kept getting caught with the kicks. Bonfim landed some good shots in the mix. They both were landing good shots in the mix. Bonfim was trying to get the head kick out there. But he did some good movement and landed some really good shots on this Saint Denis. Saint Denis continued his striking until they tied up, and Saint Denis got the takedown. Oh shit! After that, it was just so one-sided. It just took a little bit of rope-a-dope, some triangle action, and eventually a rear naked choke was applied. The choke was more on the jaw than actually under the neck, but the grip that Saint Denis has grappling-wise just fucked Bonfim up, man. Because it was neck crank, It was the neck cranked plus the choke. Man, Bonfim tapped out. First round submission for Benoit Saint Denis. We had a split decision win between, well, Ariane Lipski, Melissa Gatto fought. Split decision victory for Ariane Lipski. Really good back and forth fight. There was some takedowns going on. There was some striking between the two. It was a really aggressive fight. More of a tactical type fight from both of them. It was good to see the aggression from Lipski, though. I think the aggression is what managed to get her to win here. Plus, she managed to get some takedowns, to get some okay positioning. Gatto had some good positioning too. Just wish that Gatto would have got a little bit more with her jab action, if anything. More with the jabs, more with the down the middle kicks, the front kicks or the push kicks. She does that pretty well. And just to see her get a little bit more aggression. But it was a really good fight for both. And it's good to see Lipski getting improving and training, with Amanda Nunes in the Lioness Den. That's what they call it now, the Lioness Den. Um, that's the personal training center for Amanda Nunes and some of the ATT ladies. So that was dope. Michael Morales and Max Griffin had a banger. Those boys had a banger. Oh, man. First of all, Michael Morales is turning more and more of a mutant as days go by. But Max Griffin was not there to play. He came out to fight. He was willing to die on his shield, man. And Morales busted him up. But Griffin was there, landed some really good shots of his own. But it was just that for all the times Max was doing okay with certain shots, you know what I mean? It was just that Morales was able to take those shots, dish it right back at him, and then put in twice as much aggression. And at one point, he was rocking the hell out of Max. Max was fighting for the takedowns. Morales managed to defend. Morales even managed to get a takedown of his own at the end of the fight. Good win for Morales. He stays undefeated. 15-0. Amazing stuff. Grant Dawson fought Damir Ismagulov. Ismagulov was supposed to, he had retired but decided to come back and fight. And Damir Ismagulov is a good fighter, man. But shit, this dude got handled. Grant Dawson, now that there's no more MMA Glory and MMA Glory MMA Fitness, no James Krause. Now he's training with ATT. His second fight training under ATT. Boy, he's a whole other monster, man. Damir managed to land some shots. Grant managed to land some shots of his own. But he out-grappled, out-hustled, and big brothered the hell out of Damir Ismagulov. Crazy. Unanimous decision went to Grant Dawson. The switch-ups on the body triangle, fighting this man on the back, beating him up, defending the takedown attempts from Damir, getting the right positions, managing to get the top position, get mount, working from half, full, back. Bro, it was just nuts to see Damir get handled like this. And I think it's time for Grant to get himself a ranked opponent, man. Well, Damir was ranked, but for Grant to get a higher ranked opponent, I think it's time. And the main event, Sean Strickland, Abus Magomedov. I had Sean. So I had Sean Strickland, Grant Dawson, Michael Morales, Ariane Lipsky, Benoit Saint Denis, Uzaboyev, Fakhridinov, Brito. Yeah, my only two bad ones was Ivanov, Kutateladze, because I picked those two guys to win, but they lost. Yeah, that was it. On Twitter, I picked Max Griffin to win, but in my topology, I think I have Morales, and as far as the DraftKings, I had Morales as well. So, but the main event here, I had Sean Strickland over a Boost. Um, Even though Magomedov is a Magomedov, he represents Germany, but he was born in Russia, and he's a dynamic guy, very sneaky guy. I just felt like this was too fast of a push um, to have him come in and fight Sean and expect, I know the UFC are looking for new contenders to make the middleweight division interesting, but I think they're doing it at in a weird type pace. So Boost came out for Sean. Boost had a good first round, respectfully. He had Sean a little bit on his toes. He was hustling them, landing some really good shots, banging on Sean. Second round came, and the Boost went MIA. That man's cardio died. His confidence looked like it was dwindling right in the middle of the second round. As the second round started and kept going, his confidence went away. His stamina went away. Cardio was gone. Sean Strickland turned up the heat, and it looked like exactly what the game plan was. Extreme Couture, Eric Nixick, and you see Chris Curtis in his corner. They had it. They said it. They wanted a Boost to work the first round, work himself, and then you pour it on him in the second. And that's exactly what happened. Sean put pressure. It never let up, but the volume turned up. This man was thrown with 6 to 8 punch combinations. Yo, this was insane. And he just washed them away. And now, you see the people after the fight. Oh, he fought an unranked guy. Nah, there were people who were hyping a Boost and said a Boost was going to knock out Sean. No, Sean beat him. Give the respect. But now UFC, you looking, it's about time you give Sean Strickland a big name. Give Sean Strickland a guy that's willing to fight. Now we see what happens with Dricus Du Plessis and Robert Whitaker. If Du Plessis win, new contender for the middleweight title. But if Whitaker wins, you gotta book Whitaker versus Strickland. You got to. Ain't no other way around it. And you know what I mean? Big props to Sean. Sean didn't even look tired. That's the most bonkers thing about it. Sean Strickland just crazy, man. But that's what happened there. And then other than that, we had the boxing, Anderson versus Martin. Now this card was pretty okay. It wasn't nothing spectacular, but it was pretty. For what it was good. The prelims, they had prelim action. Prelims were okay. Young man Dante Benjamin Jr. got a win. First round finish. Rance Ward beat Hussam Al Mashadi, and I was surprised by that. Um, yeah, Al Mashadi lost. That's crazy. Undefeated dude lost. Benjamin won. Jahi Tucker lost by majority decision. He lost his O. That's crazy. Um, Tyler McCleary won by unanimous decision. He kept his O. DeAndre Ware kept. I think he kept his O. No, I don't think this was on. Was it? No, 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 no. These guys both had losses. My fault. Delonte Johnson beat Jonathan Montrell. Delonte stays undefeated still by unanimous. But yeah, we had Arslan Beck, Makhmudov beat Rafael Akpanjori for the NABF heavyweight title. The second round, they stopped the fight because this dude kept on getting beat up and dropped. Man, the first round was cool, but the second round just got sloppy as hell. Oh man, this dude kept getting dropped, getting dropped. He slipped. Man, this shit was just sloppy. But it was heavyweights. But Abdullah Mason beat Alex de Oliveira second round, man. Yo, this shit was crazy. Abdullah's good. Young kid, 19 years old, but man, he's really good. So far, so good for the young man. 9-0. He did some good stuff, man. Um, Managed to land the shots needed, wrapped it up. Then we had the Charles Martin Jared Anderson fight. 12 went all 10 rounds. I mean, um, Jared Anderson continues to be WBO Intercontinental WBC heavyweight title champion. You know, beat Charles Martin straightforward. Martin did give him a little bit of trouble. He rocked him bad, but Jared Anderson managed to shake that off, go and continue to do his thing. Simple fight. It was a challenge. I know they're trying to boost him up and talk about Jared got to fight some big names now. Calm it down a little bit. Calm it down. You want him to fight a big name, let him go fight somebody in international waters, get an international name. You can find a mid, low level, good international name and have them fight Jared. Other than that, Jared was in front of his hometown. Do work it that way. You don't gotta kill and do a lot of the most. You don't gotta do the most. Just work the kid in the right direction. Eventually, what I mean? It'll be time for him. Then you give him the opportunity. But for right now, let it be. So that's what happened last week. Uh, what's going on this week, though? First off, I watched The Ultimate Fighter yesterday, episode 6. It was a good episode. I know social media leaked the ending of it somewhat, but to watch it was fucking crazy. Lee Hammond, who was the number one pick in the lightweights for Conor McGregor, fought longtime MMA veteran Kurt Hollabaugh. And other than the stupid, the people talking, Conor not showing up to weigh-ins, and I was talking about, I'm gonna break your nose. This is a nose breaker. This is a nose breaker. Lee Hammond looked real good. I'm gonna be on. Not you can't be honest. You can see it for yourself. Lee Hammond has skills. He's a young guy. He's 26. He has skills. The guy could fight. He's good. Great potential. In the beginning of the fight, they stood off. They reading each other. They throw strikes. If I remember, I think either Lee hit him with a kick or he knocked him, but it switched off Hollabaugh to try to get a takedown. But Lee managed to switch up and managed to turn that into a takedown situation. Lee controlled Hollabaugh on the ground. He was over him, landing strikes. He managed to get into the half of Kurt. He landed some good punches, some nasty elbows from top, and worked on the half. Wherever Kurt tried to roll or turn over to try to switch positions, Lee was right there on him like glue. Um, Hallball didn't really have an answer. Awesome first round. The first time I think we seen somebody from Team McGregor win a round so far in his episodes on this show. Second round, Hammond's fighting. Hammond get a takedown. Hammond's on top. Hammond got all the control. Hammond's working. There's no wasted positions. Bruh, we got about just 3 minutes and a few seconds left. Well, 3 minutes. There's like about 2 minutes left. Lee Hammond looked like he's winning. All of a sudden, Kurt Hallball manages to sneak his arm around and lock this guillotine up. He managed to roll over, get on top, and sneak this arm over Lee Hammond's head. Hammond is on his back now, and Hallball's on top. He snuck the arm over, and manages to lock up a guillotine. And manages to get it so tight. Lee taps. All Lee had to do was finish the last 2 minutes of this fight. And Team McGregor gets a win. And he lost. Oh my God. I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't believe it. This joint was so crazy. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? What? So you see Connor was so like upset. And that's where you see the pictures of when if you see the meme now, he's on his knees with his hands to his face. That's where it came from. This man was so upset. So upset. Lee Hammond was in shambles. Like this dude was so disappointed. I'm like, damn man. I tweeted it too. Just wrote in long, multiple letters. Fuck. Because you don't want to lose on an opportunity that way. You don't want to lose a fight that way. Like there was no, like you, so unexpected, so unexpected. But he lost, man. And then Michael Chandler went to talk to him, and they give respect, And then some of the guys, I guess Connor got in his feels, and Chandler was telling him something about you got to be a better coach or some shit like that. Connor got in his feels. Connor pushed his face. Talk about, oh, you want me to break your nose? And then this whole nose breaking thing with Connor, I don't know. But it's just ridiculous. But other than that, my man got out the cage. And then, the members of Team Chandler were barking at McGregor, and then the Team McGregor guys were barking, But it's just weird, man. It's just weird. Like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm saying to myself, those kids, even though they have skills, they have talent. I know they're talented. But you put them with a bunch of beasts. The guys that are the vets in this season, those are different dudes, man. Those are different dudes. And the thing is, you have to push these guys. You have to push the prospects that you have. You have to push these guys. You got to train these guys to deal with what the veterans are going to bring. You can't just be in there all the time and just be telling, we're showing some wrestling. we're showing some of this shit. No, you gotta let them know, like, yo, you gotta have heart. You gotta bring toughness. You gotta take shit to the next level. You're gonna strike with a guy, but if a striking doesn't work, what you gotta do? You gotta grapple. If you're grappling and the grappling don't work, you gotta strike. You gotta have a plan A, a plan B, and then you resort to plan C, which is just pure madness. And it just looks like, yo, Connor's not putting that time in. Probably some of the other coaches are, but then it's like you just think like these guys are just there just to say, yo, we're there. And if that's the case, that's fucked up. But we'll see what happens. Next week's episode should be interesting because they got their KO artist, and T. McGregor is going up against the craziest mofo I've probably seen in mixed martial arts in quite some time, in Jason Knight. Jason Knight is the dude that did the bare knuckle matches with Mr. Oh shit, how did I forget this dude's name? Oh my god. No. Artem Lobov, there you go. Ooh, thank God. I didn't want to force myself to do research. Thank God. It's Artem Lobov. There you go. Artem Lobov. There you go. Yeah. He had the bare knuckle fights with Artem. He did a lot of good stuff for BKFC to push BKFC to where it's at right now. So outside of that, that's gonna be next Tuesday's episode. So let's talk about PFL, man. MMA stuff this week. We got boxing stuff this week. Let me talk about boxing first. So what I heard, boxing is kind of weird. We heard about the Canelo fight. Yo, what's up, Pace? What's happening? We heard about the Canelo fight. Canelo signed to take fights in the PBC. De La Hoya is a little sad because De La Hoya, I don't think De La Hoya is gonna be getting any real piece of that money. Canelo's out here doing his own deals. That's how you know. Canelo signed for 3 fights with the PBC. So when we heard this fight being announced that he's going to fight Charlo, we're all there like, oh my God, he's going to fight Jamal Charlo. It's going to be the middleweight bout. Let's go. Undisputed middleweight. A few days ago, we now hear that it's not Jamal Charlo he's fighting. He signed to be facing Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo is currently the super welterweight champion. He is the undisputed welterweight champion right now. For guys who don't know, he is super welterweight, junior middleweight right now. He's going to move up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo at 168. Jermell currently fights at 154. So he's moving from 154 to 168. That's fucking mad. Okay, that's madness. But it's happening, and I think it's supposed to happen, was it September sometime soon? My brain exploded. I tried to process it because I got some crazy news as well during the the past couple days. But I'm totally like, I can't believe this is happening. But big opportunity for Jermell Charlo to fight Canelo in this joint. Looking forward to it. the Fulton Naoya Inoue fight that was supposed to happen on, actually, it was supposed to happen Tuesday, got pushed all the way to the week of the Terrence Crawford Errol Spence fight. So it'll be on that Tuesday, the 25th. It'll be on Tuesday morning. I will be up. Um, Now, will I be able to stream it? I don't know. We'll see between now and then. But I'm gonna try to watch it because it's early. You know, people got things to do, and if I'm able to catch it in time, I'll probably stream it before I leave to go do what I got to do. You know what I mean? People got lives. So we'll see. We got boxing this weekend as Imantas Stanionis, yeah, you go, Stanionis, undefeated at 14-0, faces Virgil Ortiz Jr. at 19-0 for the WBA regular welterweight title. Both these guys are undefeated. Both these guys bring it. It's technical skill versus heart and fury. Hell of a good matchup between these two dudes, man. Stanonis, his last fight, my fault. Yeah, his last fight was against Radzab Butayev, where he won by split decision. He beat Thomas Delorme before that. He's fought dudes like Justin Deloach, Julio Cesar Sanchez. But I think, yeah, Delorme might be his biggest win in his career. Whereas he fought from Virgil Ortiz. He's facing Virgil Ortiz, who's 19-0. And Virgil's out of Texas, man. And my boy laying people, he putting people out. That KO TKO record is pretty nasty. So that should be a good fight between technique and straight up, let's box. We also got Marlena Silva's 13-1, fighting Celeste Alanese, who's undefeated at 14-0 for the WBA, WBC, and WBO Super Female Flyweight titles. Really good matchup for the ladies there. I like how they're lining up to get more of these undisputed women title fights here. They're trying to line up these fights to get more of the big fights to come up. Good stuff. We also got Floyd Schofield fighting Haskell Rhodes. Haskell Rhodes is 28-4-1. Floyd Schofield is 14-0. That's gonna be at 135. Jojo Diaz is fighting Jerry Perez. You know, Jojo's been a little rocky, man. He got to get himself back up there. So I'm glad he's taking the 135 fight. My boy needs to take these fights, man. So let's go. You know, Eric Tudor is fighting Reggie Harris. 7-3. Tudor is 8-0. We got some other prelim fights as well. But Jojo Diaz opens the main card. Damn, I remember Jojo was the main eventer. Now Jojo is here as an opener, man. What the hell's going on? That's madness. We also got Boots. We got Boots out here. Boots Ennis, man. Jerome Boots Ennis is out here. The undefeated Ennis. Defending that IBF welterweight title against Royman Villa. Royman Villa is 26-1. Another grizzly opponent here on the Showtime card. The Stenonis Ortiz is gonna be on the Zone. Um, this Via fight is gonna be on Showtime. Um, this boy out of Venezuela. So far, this is the dude that embarrassed Rashidi Ellis. Ellis was somewhat undefeated as well, and he beat Rashidi. So we were supposed to get Ellis versus Ennis. That did not happen because of this guy. But it should be fun, man. This card's gonna be at 9:30, part of the premiere of BBC. BBC in conjunction with Showtime Boxing. Um, the co-main got Edwin de los Santos, who's 12-1, versus Joseph Adorno, 17-2. Yo Elvis Gomez, who's 6-0, versus Marquise Taylor. That's at 154. Steven Torres versus James Evans. Um, let me see just to make sure. Let me make sure this shit real quick. I don't know what the weight classes is. I'll say this is probably a welterweight bout. They don't mark it here. So this could be a welterweight or a middleweight bout. Um, Yuri Sedano, who's 4-0 out of DR versus William Townsend, who's 4-0. Then you got a couple other fights. But I'm here for just Boots. Boots is dope. I want to see Boots do his thing. Let's go, Boots. Pardon me. I was burping. Hold on. Let me see where I can find that. Okay. Yeah, that's at 9 o'clock on the Zone. So Boots and Via 9:30 on PBC Showtime. Stanionis versus Ortiz 9 o'clock on the Zone. Cool. Um, PFL Europe is on Saturday. PFL Europe 2, the regular season. Now, I don't know what's gonna happen with my Saturday because I plan to join cleanup day at church. So I won't be in. I won't be in around the time, which kind of sucks. But um, if I can manage to before the UFC starts to try to get some to stream, I'll do what I can. If not, we gotta save it for during the week. But there's a couple names here that I don't know. No, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know any of these names, and I'm looking through. There's a couple guys who have been through the circuit. Some of these folks have fought at KSW. Some of these folks fought at the ACB, ACA, EFC. Um, you'll probably see some Fight Nights Global, EFC. Um, some guys here. But from the matchups don't look bad. We got Griet Eckhout, who formerly fought for Bellator. Some of these folks have fought for Bellator on the Euro Series cards, but hmm, it looks interesting. There's a lot of pardon me. There's a lot of bantamweight fights. This is the Euro. This is the Euro version of the tournament series. Yeah, the regular season PFL Euro. So there's a combination of 135, 155, and ladies at 125. They got 145 women's featherweight bout. Hmm. Friends Miyambo. Oh shoot! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Interesting. I found somebody. They got former Cage Warriors bantamweight champ Dominic Wooding on this card. Whoa, that's big. If you know Dominic Wooding is a terror. Dominic Wooding is 9-4. He's only been finished once in his career, but all his wins are by finish. Bro, that's big. That's a big deal. Dominic Wooding is on the card. I know Friends Miyambo. I've seen that name too before. The fuck? Oh no, not more Cage Warrior kids. Oh no, they got a motherfucker who's 7-0 and he got straight finishes. Golly. Yo, what up, Jay? What's happening? I'm here potting. I'm potting for my for the YouTube and Twitch. But you know, I link it up. I do the audio on here on OK Live as well. You know, so you're here and there. Cool, man, cool. But yeah, man, I'm here checking out this PFL card. There's a couple names on this PFL card, but that joint is early, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stream that. But I know that's it. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my best to try to get some of these fights on here. But if I can't, no, I'm going to. If I can't get it done on Saturday, we'll see how Saturday goes. If we're gonna have the cleanup day at church still, if not, then I'll save it for during the week. But I will be home in time for UFC. UFC 290 is this Saturday. Oh, there you are. Okay, I see you now. Because I'm switching. I got like mad pages open. That's why. Okay, I see you. I see you on the YouTube. Okay, cool. Yeah, man. We got a big doubleheader, man. Mexico could walk away with a lot of bragging rights this weekend, man. As we got the number. Wait, is he number one still? No, he's number two, right? He's number two, right? I'm gonna need to get on here real fast because we got to do the rankings, right? Because that's the only right thing to do. We have to do the rankings. Let me check the rankings. Believe in the rankings. I gotta do the pound for pound. Yes, he is number two pound for pound. I still can't get over the fact that the UFC used all of its fan base to game people into talking about pound for pound just to have John Jones show up and become number one pound for pound. That shit is still hilarious to me. I'm still upset by it. It's still kind of funny though. It is what it is. That's how you gotta switch the business. You know what I mean? You gotta flip the business on his head with nonsense. But respectfully, let's talk about this card. This card got 14 fights. It's on Saturday. Prelims start at 6 o'clock. The early prelims will be on UFC Fight Pass, I think, or ESPN Plus. The prelims will be on ABC because they are smart now, and the main card will be on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Now, for people who don't know, there was a couple fights that got scratched off this card. Well, not scratched, but there's one fight that got scratched off this card, and 3 people had a switch of opponents. So Manel Kopp was supposed to fight Davison Figueiredo, but Figueiredo wasn't medically cleared. Kopp was pissed about it. Sean Brady got an infection, so he was out. Christian Rodriguez withdrew due to injury. Tresean Gore got injured too. So Jack Della Maddalena is still on the card. Cameron Simon is still on the card. And of course, they kept Bo Nickel on the card still. But what's going to go on here? So we have 14 fights. We open the card up on the early prelims with Camuela Kirk, who's 11-5 versus Esteban Ribovics. Ribovics out of Argentina. Camuela Kirk here in the States. Ribovics is a very interesting guy, man. He has not been finished. He's only lost his debut, this decision. Ribovics is a monster. He has no decisions, all finishes. Super quick, insane, striking, crazy. Yo, this is a fight that could be fireworks against Camuela Kirk. Now, Camuela Kirk is someone I've seen in the regionals. He was pretty damn solid. He was in LFA, looked really good. He had his debut win against Makwan Americani, but he got submitted by Damon Jackson. We haven't seen him since. But he was doing pretty good for himself here and there. Long, rangy guy. Takedown defense is okay. Striking is pretty solid. Pretty solid. This opener will be a hell of a monster fight. Next fight, we have Shannon Ross. He'll be fighting at 125 against Jesus Aguilar, who's 8-2. Now, Shannon Ross had a bad loss. He got beat up. He showed a lot of heart, but he got beat up on the Contender Series. I think it was last season. He got called in. He got torn up by Clayton Rodriguez. He's got an opportunity here. Now, this dude, Jesus Aguilar, is 8-2. 6 wins by submission, 2 by decision. He lost his debut against Tetsuo Taira. Other than that, this dude was racking off a fucking, 8-fight win streak that only had 2 wins by decision, and the rest were submissions. Monster stuff. Shannon Ross, he's pretty much a good kickboxer. He's gung-ho, though. He's gung-ho. Because he fights. He looks to fight in the pocket. He's not afraid to fight in the pocket. He had that crazy epic fight with Vinicius Salvador in the Contender Series last season. The back and forth was crazy. Salvador's no care in the world, IDGAF in the air, just went out there and just tore whatever throw. I'm going to throw back. You can't knock me out. I'm going to put pain on you. Style was just too much for Ross. And then Ross gets finished in a minute by Rodriguez. But we'll see what he picks up from there to bring it to this fight. Cameron Simon, the undefeated young lad from South Africa, right? South Africa. Yeah, I guess this was in South America. The hell's wrong with me? Yeah. South Africa faces Terrence Mitchell. Now, Terrence Mitchell, Simon's 8-0. He's fighting at 135. He's pretty good. He's got to clean up these little mistakes he makes during fights. But he's fighting a guy who's 15-2 in Terrence Mitchell. Mitchell fought his last couple fights have been out in Alaska. Um, what's crazy about it? The place where Mitchell's has fought another guy. You guys know him by the name of uh, he just tore Marvin's face apart. Jared Cannonier fought at Alaska. He fought in Alaska AFC, Alaska Fighting Championships. He fought over there as well. So these dudes are out there in the cold. They out there training. They're walling for respect. He's gonna come out there and try to make a name for himself at the expense of Cameron Simon. This will be an interesting fight to watch because Simon's still very young and good kickboxing, but his grappling is still something to watch. We're still wondering about it, and Mitchell can have the skill set to mess with this dude. Also, he has age too. He's 33, so he's out there. That would be a very interesting matchup. We got a big boy battle: Victor Petrino versus Marcin Prachnio at 205. Petrino, well, we see Marcin Prachnio. Marcin just throws big shots. Takedown defense is pretty good. He's trying to fight a lot smarter now. But if he has to stand and bang, he will. Petrino is a bit more of a stand and bang guy himself. But interesting enough, he fought Anton Turkalj, his official UFC debut, earlier this year. And, bro, this motherfucker can wrestle. He's a Brazilian guy, but he can wrestle pretty good. Yo, I don't know if you guys remember the fight. He managed to defend the takedowns. Actually, I could give you guys a reference point. Let's see if we can give you a reference point real quick. Reference point for my people on OK Live. The fight was the Jan versus the Dvalishvili card. So if you're listening to this on OK Live, that was the card that he fought, Jan versus the Dvalishvili. For people that are listening to this on YouTube or Twitch, that's what that was the card. On OK Live, I have it cataloged there, so you could go try to check that out yourselves. OK Live, Mr. B. Mr. B is the account on OK Live. Check that out. But yeah, he managed to defend, switch positions on Anton, defend takedowns, take Anton down. Bro, this dude was really putting on wrestling chops. I think he could do that again here against Marcin Prachnio. Marcin does have decent ability and experience, but Petrino's very fast. And surprisingly, he has a really good gas tank to do the shit he does. Marcin kind of doesn't really put a crazy pace as far as the fighting goes. Maybe the striking, but that's for like what, a round and a half. And Petrino managed to wrestle for 3 fucking rounds. So Petrino looks like to be a good pick here on this part. We got Edgar Chairez on the 5th fight against Tatsuro Taira. Now, Taira was supposed to fight a while ago. He was actually supposed to fight, was it the last week's card? Like last week or the week before. He was supposed to fight. Yeah. Yeah, like last week's card. No, 2 weeks ago. He was supposed to fight Rodriguez, and Rodriguez missed fucking weight like a whole imbecile. Man missed weight by like what was it, like a pound and a half or 2 pounds. Psh, Clayton got to do better. But because it's such a quick turnaround, this is a catch weight of 130. Now Tyra is a good grappler, big time Japanese grappler. Only 23 years old, but he's looked so good so far. His wrestling jiu-jitsu mix is pretty solid. His striking is okay, and it allows him to get into his grappling feels. Edgar Chairez, 27 years old, out of Entram Gym, where our co-main eventer used to train at. Um, it still kind of switches up from time to time, but yeah, 4 wins by KO, 6 by submission, so 10 wins by finish. He's only been finished twice in his career, and that's pretty cool. He got 2 submission finishes. Yeah, I remember he fought Clay Carpenter the last fight out. Yeah, on 2022. That was the one. Yeah, it was a good back and forth. It wasn't nothing really crazy, but it was an interesting fight on the Contender Series. But we'll see what he brings. I'll more than likely take Tyra on this fight. Um, the next one is a rebooking because I think the last time they fought, it went to a draw. Was it a draw? I think it was either a draw or fucking no contest. Yeah, it was a draw. Yeah, this was at 284. Yeah, it was earlier this year. Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Menefield. And if this fight turns out to be anything like the first fight, shit. The only thing was that the last round was sour. The last round was sour. The beginning of this fight was crazy. The second round was like, what the fuck is this? Third round was just like, fuck it, I don't want to watch this no more. But they had gas. That's all it was. But they were beating the crap out of each other. Really good fight. Jimmy Crute been training with Robert Whitaker. Alonzo Menefield training at Fortis. Big power comes from Alonzo, but he's learning, he's maturing, and fighting with a lot more patience. Jimmy Crute's getting a lot better with his striking and using his wrestling more, which has always been the issue because he don't wrestle. He wants to get into these weird exchanges, leave his chin open. He gets caught with dumb shit his last couple fights, but he makes a little couple tactical errors in the striking department and gets caught. But Lonzo, man, these dudes gonna be a slobber knocker. We also got Denise Gomes, who got her finish against Bruna Brazil, her last fight out, 7-2, versus the undefeated so far, Yasmin Yaregi out of Mexico. And Yasmin and Denise, they both some pretty ladies, man. So it's a shame that they gotta fight each other. But Yasmin, 7 wins by finish, out of her 10. And the last time, she fought Ismin Lucindo, which was a good fight. We seen Lucindo move up to 125 and beat the brakes off of Brogan Walker. Yasmin beat her. Then she beat up her and Estella. Just had a war, and Estella knocked her down. She knocked Estella down. Then she knocked Estella down again, and she just tore through her. Denise Gomes tore through her opponent last fight out, 7-2. Is Denise Gomes um, out of Brazil, 23 years old. Piranha Valatudo. Um, those are the ladies that train. Carol Rosa trains there. Um, Head, the former strawweight champ, Jessica Andrade trains out there as well. We got a couple of those ladies out there. But she beat Bruna Brazil. She knocked her out, knocked her unconscious actually. Hit her with the right hook, pounded her with the ground strikes, legit laid her out. She had the good fight against Rayan dos Santos. And then, her debut, she lost to Loma Lubonmi, which is crazy because Rayan is now the strawweight champion, I think, no, she's the atomweight champion now in in uh Invicta. There you go. So crazy how shit happens. But this should be a really good fight between these two ladies in the prelims. Um, I think this portion will be on ABC. After that, we got Josiah Harnell. I don't know who the hell Josiah Harnell is. And it's pretty nice to see this guy, they call him the muscle hamster, get an opportunity here. He's undefeated, 7-0, all by finish. He has 4 by KO TKO, 3 by submission. Um, yeah, real good stuff. Unfortunately, he's the fill-in for against Jack Della Maddalena, and we've seen how Jack fights. Short notice, whole different. He's gonna throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in there because you got to prepare for a different guy. Um, Big opportunity for Harnell here. For Jack Della though, oh shit. You got a guy who got 13 wins by finish, 1 by decision. This guy hasn't been finished since 2016. Jesus Christ. And his first two pro fights, he was finished. And since then, he's been tearing everybody a new asshole. And boy, oh boy, Randy Brown got it so far. Pete Rodriguez got it. Well, yeah, Pete Rodriguez got the business. Ramzan Ameev got the business. Danny Roberts got the business. And Rude Boy Randy Brown got the business. This is crazy. Jack Della's going out there to get himself another W in violent fashion. And we also have for the premiere the marquee prelim fight. And I'm sorry to say it, it's the end of the road, man. The final fight. A long-time MMA standout. A guy who trained in one of my favorite camps back in the 90s in Militich Fighting Systems. The guy who went and clobbered heads left and right, then reinvented himself as a welterweight to win the UFC welterweight title. A guy who on one leg slept Melvin Manhoof in Manhoof's prime. A guy who knocked out Matt the Law Linland and then straightened his legs out as a form of respect. A guy who went to 2 wars. No, whose last championship fights were absolute wars. Robbie Lawler fights his last fight as a UFC competitor against Nico Price, the hybrid Price. Nico Price is a do or die guy. Robbie Lawler has been a do or die guy, but it's been kind of mixy in these last couple fights. If we know Robbie, This is when he's gonna come out for and bring his absolute best. Just sit back and marvel at it, man. Take it in, because that's just gonna be a war. Robbie Lawler has 45 fights, 29 and 16. Nico's 15 and 6. Man, God bless. Because Nico's last couple of fights have been nothing but what the fucks. And Robbie Lawler's just been this. We see it a little bit, but damn, Robbie, we need you out there, man. But I hope Robbie goes out there in a blaze of glory, give the fans what they want, finally quench that thirst, Robbie, and put on your best, man. But now we got the main card. And we open up with Bo. Bo knows best. NCAA, Olympic bound. Said, nah, man, I'm going to go try this UFC stuff real quick. I'm going to try this MMA stuff real quick. Oh, UFC want to sign me? Let's go do that. 4-0 so far. Bo Nichols looked like a monster. Bo Nichols had 2 fights on the Contender Series last season just so they could boost ratings up. Real a-holes. He was supposed to fight Trayshawn Gore. Now, Trayshawn Gore was 4-2. Trayshawn Gore is pretty. It'll be a really good leveled fight. Don't know if Trayshawn has the wrestling, but Trayshawn's jiu-jitsu is pretty sneaky and pretty strong. He's pretty strong. His striking is pretty good. We could have seen it would have been more of an even fight. But instead, he's fighting this dude by the name of Valentine Woodburn. Woodburn is 7-0. The Animal, 29 years old. He's 5'8". So he's a little short, but he's pretty fucking stocky. 5 wins by finish, 2 by decision. The last 2 that he had, his last two fights were by decision. Other than that, he's had an amateur career. His amateur career is about 5-2-1. But yeah, his earlier fights were finishes, and his last 2 decision. Bo Nickal, we seen the last time out. Bo Nickal ate the soul of, was it Jamie Pickett? After he threw that weird ass strike, he had that one fumble. But other than that, he ate Jamie Pickett's heart. Problem was, he also had that low blow on Jamie Pickett. He kneed Jamie Pickett in the nuts, which kind of allowed him to get the takedown. Yeah, we seen it, and they didn't overturn it, which is fucked up. But we'll see how he does here in middleweight. Official second middleweight fight for the UFC. Second fight here, we got in the main card, we have Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. Now I gotta go over here because we gotta use the tracker. So the Menifeld crew, Jimmy Crute is 14. So Menifield's fighting, he went to get a ranking spot. If Harnell can make the upset, he gets a ranking spot on the number 14 Jack Della Maddalena. Now the next fight is between number 11 and number 12 in the division. Jalen Turner being number 11 and number 12 Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's taking some losses. He mixed it up with a win. His last win was against Claudio Puelles. Now Hooker was supposed to fight Turner. Hooker had to pull out the fight. Turner fought Mateusz Gamrot instead, and Gamrot beat him. So now they rebooked the fight between Hooker and Turner. Hooker out of Australia. Rapid City Kickboxing. No, ain't he a New Zealander? Yeah, he's the New Zealander. Fuck. But yeah, he's a New Zealander. 18 wins by finish. He's been finished 3 times or 6 times. But yeah, our boy's good, man. Dan Hooker been good. He's been rattling off this 1-2, 1-2 type streak. He beat Puelas, lost to Arnold Allen, lost to Islam Makhachev, beat Nasrat Haqparast, but lost to Chandler and Poirier. A lot of wars this man has been in, Dan Hooker. We're still wondering if he could put it together. He's still kind of young still, but he's been in so many damn wars. The Poirier fight, knocked out by Chandler. He fucking got annihilated by Edson Barboza a few years back. Islam Makhachev ran through him. You know, you got to think about all this stuff that's happened to him, man. And he's fighting Jalen Turner. And Turner is a fucking anomaly in itself. Because Jalen Turner fought at 170, the Tarantula. And this guy is 6'3" with the 75.5 reach. That reach is nuts. So it's a hell of a matchup considering it. And I think Hooker's the underdog here. Yeah. They got the reach listed at 77. Okay. So Jalen Turner's reach is 77. They got it. Wow. Dan Hooker's 75. The leg reach, Jalen Turner got that beat by 3.5 inches, where Jalen Turner has 46 inches of leg reach. It's very interesting, man. Hooker's had a lot more strikes land. Well, Jalen Turner has the higher significant strikes landed. Um, they're kind of even on the significant strikes in total, but Hooker's absorbed a bit more strikes, and that's not, that's because of the opponents. His defense is good, but you have good defense, but you absorbed a lot more strikes. It's kind of weird, but Hooker's in it for a really tough fight, man. But he trains with City Kickboxing. His homies in the main event. You know, they probably got him ready. There's not many guys from City Kickboxing on the card. It's 2. So I feel good. I think both of them will probably get the W's here. Turner's a tough out though, and he's young. He's on the young side too. Body's still fresh. But we'll see how he does, man. We have Robert Whitaker versus Dricus du Plessis. Now this fight is kind of talked about. The fight makes no sense, but that's what we're here. You know what I mean? Dricus du Plessis beat Darren Till and then managed to go out there and in a weird, convoluted fight, managed to, beat Derek Brunson so bad that they threw the towel in for Derek. And he's going up against Robert Whitaker. And Whitaker's holding down the fort. It comes down to the point where if you could beat Whitaker, you automatically get a title shot. So I get why they made this fight. Du Plessis beat Brunson, Du Plessis beat Till, which tells you a lot about what the hell's happening in the middleweight division. The middleweight division really kind of needs talent. There's guys getting shown up, and it's kind of fucking weird. Marvin Vettori's a young guy. He got shown up by Jared Cannonier. Fucking Darren Till got beat up. He's gone. Kelvin Gastelum was on his way to keep running through the middleweight division, but they moved him to 170 now. Um, fucking, you know, Alex moved to 205. And Sean Strickland, as I said earlier in this stream, on this pod, um, Strickland's gonna be the guy who's gonna have to get a fucking title fight. Either he's gonna fight the winner. Either he's gonna get a title fight. They're gonna be forced to give him a title fight, or forced to give him the winner of. If Whitaker wins this fight, they will have to give him Robert Whitaker. Whitaker will have to fight Sean Strickland. If Duplessis wins, they'll give him a title shot. He'll be next for Israel Adesanya. But if not, Whitaker's fighting Strickland. There's no ifs, ands about it. Because Whitaker's the guy. The middleweight division has the same problem right now that the featherweight division has. But the featherweight division has a lot more talent clocking in to fight. But you have the guy who's guarding the title, who's guarding the title shots. And it's hard to work your way around the title shots. In the fact that featherweight has Max Holloway. Nobody's beating Max Holloway other than Alex Volkanovski right now. And nobody's beating Robert Whitaker unless Israel Adesanya. They stuck. What the fuck you gonna do? I don't know. And that's what's happened. That's like fucking. And you can't even say that about women's. You can't even say that about the women's division. Oh yeah, you could have. It was Holly Holm. You had to be Holly Holm to get a title shot. As long as Amanda Nunes was holding the title, they had to try to work their way around it. And how they worked it, where she lost to Juliana Pena, they just threw Juliana Pena a shot. That's all it was. Because Holm already had a shot. Fucking crazy. But that's they doomed themselves. UFC doomed themselves with this silly shit. You know? But that's what happens. You gotta line up these matchups a lot better and to work your way around these ill-fated situations. But other than that, Whitaker's been out here for a long time. He's been training, improving his footwork, really good boxing, really good kickboxing. His boxing is really fucking solid. I love his feints, how he shoots the jab off when he throws those hooks, and when he has you hurt, he knows how to close. He knows how to cut off angles and use his footwork to not only cut off angles, but set you up for certain strikes that he's going to throw. Like how he throws those fucking head kicks. And how he tends to throw a couple shots here and there to the body, as well as now throwing in the John Jones special and throwing kicks to the knee. Little knee tappers, oblique kicks and shit like that. Very interesting to see from Rob. But he's been doing it for a little bit and it's been helping a lot because it helps to ease him up and to get his combinations working while keeping his opponents at bay. With Dricus Duplessis got grappling. I've watched a couple of his fights before he came to the UFC. Well, a little bit after he came to the UFC, I watched a couple of his fights. He has good jiu-jitsu. His jiu-jitsu is good. His kickboxing is good. That's the thing. But, you always talk about this guy in his nose, and that's going to be the big issue. Now, he talked about his nose. He couldn't breathe. And now that he got the surgery and his breathing is good, we'll see if that's really a factor. Because if it's not a factor in this fight and he's breathing 100%, but he's getting his ass kicked, then that wasn't the problem now. It wasn't the nasal problem. It was just that you're not up to Robert Whitaker's skills. So he got a lot to answer for, sir. We'll see how that turns out, though. We have the co-main event. My dude, the young man, Brandon Moreno, the two-time UFC, yes, the one-time interim champ, two-time UFC flyweight champion, current champion, facing the number 2 man, Alexandre Pantoja. Now, this is an important fight. Hold up. This is an important fight. This is big. Now, I don't know about other people. They're not treating it as big as I am, but I am. Alexandre Pantoja came from UFC Latin, not UFC, the Ultimate Fighter Latin America. Um, and Pantoja, if I remember correctly, I think Pantoja had won the season. He actually fought Brandon Moreno and beat Brandon Moreno during that season. He then fought Brandon Moreno when, guys were official UFC fighters. He beat Brandon Moreno. He comes into this fight now. Huge chip on his shoulder. Huge chip. Alexandre Pantoja comes in. 25-5, Alexandre Pantoja. Currently riding this three fight win streak. He's only lost by decision. He's never been stopped, never been finished. This 3-fight win streak includes wins over Manel Kape and two back-to-back rear naked choke finishes on Brandon Royval and Alex Perez. But yeah, man, my dude came through. Yeah, he beat Brandon Moreno. UFC Fight Night 129 back in 2018. And then he finished Brandon Moreno on Latin America. Yeah. The Ultimate Fighter Latin America. He did. Was it Latin America? No. It was just the Ultimate Fighter Season 24. The Tournament of Champions. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah. Pantoja's fought. And every time it looked like Pantoja was going to make it, get his shot, he had some hiccups on the road, you know what I mean? He lost to Figueiredo. He had won against Matt Schnell, but then he lost to Askar Askarov. And Askarov's not even in the UFC no more. And props to everybody who was hyping Askar Askarov. Russian guy, he won championships. Pressure was too much for that kid, man. But it is what it is. And Pantoja's out here. Pantoja's improved his footwork, his jiu-jitsu. He shows a lot of aggression. He's putting formation into his hands. Oh my God, his overhand right is fucking beastly, man. Golly. But he's going up against the assassin, baby. Brandon Moreno, man. How you not like this kid? 29 years old, man. He's never been finished either. So I'll be shocked if we get a finish in this fight. 16 finishes, only lost by decision 6 times. 5 wins by decision. Man, this guy was in the UFC, got cut by the UFC, came back with a vengeance in the UFC, matured. He was training with Entram Gym, left, went to train with James Krause. The James Krause situation happened. That gym is gone and everybody split up. He got to now train with Fortis and Saif Sayud. Sayud put big motivation and really improved skills on Brandon Moreno. And that helped him beat Davison Figueiredo last fight out. We're looking to see what he brings in here this time around. It's gonna be workman's effort this time. In this fight, it has to be on workman's effort. It's gonna be Brandon Moreno looking to break Pantoja, and Alexandre Pantoja looking to fight as clean of a fight as he can without getting caught too much on the heavy strikes from Brandon Moreno. Not trying to get caught up in crazy scramble situations from Brandon Moreno. Um, yeah, defend those takedowns. Don't get caught up in scrambles, and make sure that you try to lead the fight as much as you can. We know Moreno got a chin, and we know Moreno don't got quit. Pantoja don't got quit, but this man Brandon Moreno, even though Pantoja got 2 wins against him, Moreno's riding with a lot of muscle on his shoulder, man. You beat the one guy that people didn't think you could beat. You beat him. You beat him twice. He beat you once, but you beat him twice. Forced that man out the division. You got finishes, You finished him twice. That's even crazier. So, it's a hell of a fight. High pace, high action. If somebody's going to reach their breaking point. If this goes to a decision, I would be thoroughly shocked. But I think we get a finish here, man. We got to finish, I could say, somewhere around the second and fourth round. The second and fourth round. If we got the decision, I'm shocked. And then we have the main event for the undisputed UFC featherweight title. And I mentioned the undisputed part because Yair Rodriguez is an interim champ. Alexander Volkanovski is the champ. Now, Volk just lost his last fight, albeit he moved up a weight class, albeit he put up a hell of a fight. You fought Islam Makhachev. A lot of people want to see a rematch. Islam really did good. But shit, moving up a weight class to deal with that Dagestani power, hats off to you, sir. If you had a minute more, probably could have taken that man's soul. But who knows? On the other end, Yair's had an up and down run. Yair was beefing with the organization a little bit. He didn't really want to fight. They were trying to line him up with Zabit. That didn't get to happen. After the Frankie Edgar loss, he kind of lost some motivation. He was a lot younger, though. They tried to force him to fight with Zabit. He didn't want to. They kind of fired him, but then hired him. He had the fight with Chan Sung Jung. He was like, they call me a bitch. I ain't not the bitch. Was losing that fight till he knocked out Chan Sung Jung in the last second of the last round. And then everything kind of turned around for him, man. Since then, he fought Jeremy Stevens in Mexico. That was the fight that went crazy. Wait, was that the fight that they went crazy for? Yeah, that was a fight. Well, they had the first one they did. Yeah, he went to the no contest because of the eye poke. The accidental 15 seconds into the fight, and Mexico City lost its shit. Everybody threw drinks and bottles and all that stuff. And Michael Bisping had to be Superman to Brendan Fitzgerald because Brendan Fitzgerald hid under the table, which is still funny as hell to me to this day. He rematched Jeremy Stevens and won. He had the epic fight with Max Holloway. We lost that, but then came back, beat Brian Ortega. Ortega dislocated his shoulder. But then he fought for the interim title against Josh Emmett. And if you want to talk about a hell of a showing, Emmett never had a chance to really look good in that fight, man. And I had picked Emmett to win that fight. But damn, from the first kick to the end of that fight, it was all Yair Rodriguez. The aggression, the poise, and the mastery of throwing those kicks from the first kick that landed on Josh Emmett's poor ribs all the way to that submission. My God. Yair's a whole different dude. And he looks ready, man. I know he's been training Jackson Wink. Oh shit, I'm back to my regular joint. My headphones died. He got back to, he training with the Jackson Wink guys a little bit. He got his own little camp he trained with. So being with those guys, he's improving the wrestling. Well, yeah, he's trained his takedown defense. He's prepped a little bit for his wrestling. His striking's getting a lot better. His hands have gotten better because you always talk about his kicks. I've talked about his kicks a lot before with people, whether it's on Twitter, whether it was on Periscope. I would talk about Yair's kicking. He got dynamic kicks, powerful kicks. To beat Yair, you got to take his kicks out of the entire game and force him with his hands. Problem is, we seen in the fight that he had against Max Holloway, motherfucker got hands. He got hands. He throws his hands pretty deadly. But he kind of hesitates a little bit because he's not able to throw those kicks. He's one of those guys, I'm so used to kicking, and we're going to see if he does that because Volk is going to look to take his kicks out of the equation and look to change levels on him a little bit, put his jab out there, and cut the cage. Cut the cage in half, even by a quarter. Cut that movement from Yair. Take Yair's back leg out of the equation as well. You got to try to force Yair to fight on his back foot. If you force a man to back up a lot, he's not going to try to fire those heavy leg kicks, those heavy body kicks with the rear leg. So he'll be forced to use his lead leg. You chop that lead leg up with leg kicks. Volk could do that very well. He'd be very strategic. For Yair gotta not be overwhelmed by the moment. Come in early and often with those kicks. Snap those kicks. Don't let those legs linger around. Try to put combinations together. Mix up your hands and your legs as well. Defend the takedown attempts. And just don't fall into Volk's aura. As I always mention, he plays the tactical bully role very well. Small man, big aura. Motherfucker was 200 plus pounds as a rugby player. He cuts down to 145 for these fights. Bruh, he's carrying no nonsense energy. Regardless of what, be prepared. That's it, man. That's all. And that's gonna be it for this card. If you want to hear some picks, I'm still thinking about some picks, but I'm gonna take Volkanovski. I'm gonna take Brandon Moreno. I'm gonna stick with Robert Whittaker. I might put Dan Hooker on that card. Bo Nickel versus this guy. Of course, we're gonna take Bo. I want to take Robbie Lawler, Jack Della, Yasmin, Alonzo Menefield, Tatsuro Taira. I'll probably take Victor Petrino. Simon or Mitchell, I don't know. I might take Mitchell as an upset. Jesus Aguilar versus Shannon Ross, I might take Ross as an upset. Cam Waller-Kirk versus Esteban Ribovics, I don't know yet. I like Cam Waller-Kirk. And Esteban had a rough first fight coming into it because he came in short notice against Loik Radzhabov. But against a guy like Kirk, you throw fireworks in there, and there's a lot of space for an opportunity to land killer shots. So that's a toss up. But I'm your boy, Mr. B. I'm gonna get out of here. Um, Catch me on OK Live tomorrow and over the weekend on Saturday. That's OK Live. My account, Mr. B. I'm out there. I got a picture of Laura Senko. You can catch me out there. We'll catch these fights, man. Catch the UFC card and whatever other stuff. I'm on Twitter. New Year, same B at Mr. B 1986. You could drop it a DM. Just be like, yo, what's up, bro? You good? You chilling? What else am I doing? I made a Kick, but I don't know how to freaking deal with Kick. But I have my Twitch, and these streams also link up with my Twitch, so you can check those out on Twitch.
She said yes. I said yes.
I'll be on with my homie Mike, Cope's Corner, Fridays, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, on YouTube. That's KOPESKORNER MMA. You got a YouTube channel, so you can check that out there. Twitch, with the homie Mike Copenhaver. Not Twitch, Twitter. Cope's Corner. On Facebook too. And Twitter. Yeah, I mentioned Twitter. But yeah, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, yeah. Shout out to the homies. Tony D, Ted Hicks, Sunday Night Smoke. All those dudes got stuff they do. Tony D, he teams up with the homie Glick on Nonsensical Nonsense. They got a YouTube channel. You can check them out. They're like the every day or every week podcast. They do it about like 3 to 5 times a week. It's random, but it's pretty dope. You should check them out. Ted Hicks, Late Night Parent, that comes on a late night on Thursdays. Sometimes it mixes up depending, but it's around 10 or 11 o'clock Eastern, which will be 7, 8 o'clock Pacific. Got the homie I got my homie TJ. He does his wrestling podcast. He's on low hiatus. Let's see, Fireman Rich, man. Fireman Rich. He got his podcast that he does. His morning joint. So you could go on Late Night Parent to see when that is, because I forget. But yeah, he got good stuff. He talks a lot of good like life stuff and sports, man. He's knee deep in the sports game. And we got touring the AFC South, Mike Patton, who's on YouTube and he's on Twitter as well. He does some real good stuff talking about football, and he talks about a lot of good athletes and personalities, sports personalities. So check that out too. Touring AFC South. Touring the AFC South. There you go. But yeah, check that out, man. If there's anything else I left, my homie Combat Sports with Rhino, check that out. It's a good MMA pod. The Friendly Sparring Friendly Sparring podcast. You can check that out as well. My dude MMA by Milliken. You can check out that podcast. MMA by Milliken. That's on Anchor, I think. Apple, yeah, and Spotify. So is Combat Sports with Rhino. Always a fun listen. He brings guests on, shares his thoughts, man. Former boxer himself. Good old guy, man. Deserves more viewers, more attention. So get out to those dudes. So that's Combat Sports with Rhino, Friendly Sparring Podcast, and my dude MMA by Milliken, as well as the Easy and Steezy podcast. Check those guys out. I think they got a YouTube. They're also on Spotify and I think Apple. So check those dudes out as well. Anyway, that's it. I'm out. I tried to make this a little shorter, but it's still close to 2 hours, damn it. I'm Mr. B. I'm gone. Catch me tomorrow. I'm streaming something. Friday. We'll see how it goes. And Saturday for UFC 290. International Fight Week is crazy. You can also catch up with the episodes of The Ultimate Fighter over there too at my OK Live, Mr. B. But y'all be good. Y'all be easy. Enjoy the rest of your week. I got to try to find a way to cure my voice because this is crazy. Anyway, peace. And whoever's listening, thanks for coming through, y'all. I really appreciate it.